Am I the idiot for being annoyed at my mom for adopting my ex-wife? My ex-wife Tara, female 32, and I, male 36, were together for 8 years, and married for 5. My wife's biological family died when she was very young. She was in and out of the foster care system for most of her childhood, but never adopted, and therefore never had a family. Tara always had a really great relationship with my mom, often saying how my mom, female 61, was like the mother she never had. My mom also joked a few times about how if we weren't married, she would adopt Tara. I never thought much of these jokes, because I never fathomed it would actually happen. Tara and I divorced 2 months ago after I found out she was having an affair for 4 months. I won't go into details, but it was messy. I decided I want nothing more to do with her. My mom was devastated. She has still kept in contact with Tara, who is now dating the guy she cheated on me with. I find this a bit disrespectful, but there's not much I can do. Last week she invited me over saying she needs to talk to me about something. She told me that after many extensive discussions with Tara, she is planning to adopt her, to give her the family she never had. I admit, I lost it a bit. I flipped out on her, and called her a crap mother for putting my ex-wife, who cheated on me over her own son. I stormed out. She called me yesterday, and asked if I'd cooled down, which I had. I apologized for calling her a crap mother, but said my stance was the same. I said how the idea of my ex-wife being my sister made me very uncomfortable, especially having to explain it to others. I said I no longer want to have a connection with Tara, and making us literal siblings forces me to. She disagreed with this. She said I was being insensitive, that Tara has never had a family. I told her if she chooses to adopt Tara, I would have to go no contact with her for my own sanity. She started crying, called me an idiot, and said I was emotionally blackmailing her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What the freak is wrong with your mother? I get her heart is in the right place and she loves your ex-wife, but this is inappropriate. I mean, how can she overlook the fact that your ex-wife cheated on you? Disgusting. Not the idiot. If I were in your shoes, I would let your mother know that you tolerated her maintaining a friendship with Tara, but no, she's crossed a massive line. Tell her that if she goes ahead with this, she'll gain a daughter, but will permanently lose a son. Not the idiot. She would hate to lose me as a son. That's it then, decision made. She would hate to, as in, she will, because she's going to pick Tara over you. You deserve so much better, OP. Tara isn't above her actions because she had a crappy upbringing. Crappy people do crappy things, and somehow your mother has chosen her over you. I'd go no contact forever. Not changing that when I get married or and have kids. She can lie in her bed. I'd happily tell everyone why too. Am I the idiot for telling people about my mom's affair? Last year my mom told me that she wanted to get a divorce from my dad. At the time my dad and I did not get along. We couldn't hold a conversation without one of us getting angry. When my mom laid out her reasons, I thought they were good ones. I said, if it would make her happy, she should go for it. One day Dad sat me and my brother down. He said he was sorry for how he had treated us. He was going to start therapy on his own, and couples therapy with my mom to try and make the relationship work. I never saw my dad cry until that day. My brother and I watched my dad work to be the perfect husband. He practically waited on her hand and foot, and let her travel to our home state as much as she wanted. We moved for my dad's work 15 years ago. Then we started to notice Mom being weird. She guarded her phone, she was constantly texting someone, and she once answered a FaceTime call, and ran to hide, holding her finger to her lips to tell the person on the line to be quiet. When my dad started dating, my mother was furious. She constantly asked me about his new girlfriend, referred to as NG, and tried to get information. I got angry and told her that she should move on. Then, the bombshell came. My mom called and said, I've been having an affair with boyfriend, referred to as DB for douchebag. I first cheated on your dad before we moved. I told your father after Christmas. It suddenly made sense why my dad had stopped trying to save the marriage. He had been married to my mom for 20 years. He was devastated. Recently, I was at a town event with my mom for my high school. My mom had to leave the event early, and my friend Amelia agreed to drive me home. The entire time that we were at the event with Amelia, my mom was talking crap about my dad, saying, "You can only take so much before you leave," and that's why I left. Once my mom left, Amelia asked me how I was since my mom told her that my dad and NG had started dating before my mom left. I was furious. I said, "You know my mom cheated on my dad, right?" Amelia's face went white. No. My mom had told her parents my dad had started dating NG before my mom left. I couldn't believe it. My mom has always tried to play the victim, but this was so much worse. My dad was the only one that tried to save their marriage. I started talking to Amelia's dad later. He asked how I liked NG. I said she was nice, and I liked her kids. Her dad asked how I liked DB. I said, I honestly don't like him. He asked me how I could give NG a chance, but not DB. I told him how DB was responsible for my parents' divorce, because he was the other man. DB knows that my dad exists. Amelia's dad said, well, that changes things. I haven't told my mom that I've told people the truth. She and I used to be really close, and I'm the only one to look out for her mental health, but it infuriates me that she is making my dad a villain. So Reddit, am I the idiot? Not the idiot, since your mom was lying about things trying to make your dad the bad guy. But do keep in mind that just because your dad changed his attitude towards the end of the marriage, it doesn't take back from 20 years of a bad marriage. If your mom was unhappy for a long time, then she was right to get a divorce. I know she didn't handle things well by cheating. I'm just saying be careful when you say things like my dad was the only one trying to save the marriage. Your mom tried for 20 years, and your dad only changed when he realized he was losing her. Your mom is really wrong here, but don't put your dad in a pedestal either. Not the idiot. Your mom is full of it. She stayed like most people stay, because of stability. She needed to make sure that her affair wouldn't drop her when he got bored. Your dad isn't a saint, but she doesn't need to throw stones while living in a glass house. Not the idiot. If your mother doesn't want people to know she had an affair, she should not have had an affair. It is actually really simple to keep people from knowing that you did something. You avoid doing whatever it is. In this case, she couldn't have an affair by accident. Penises are not something you trip and fall on. You don't take a header down the stairs and land vagina first on a penis. You just don't. So cheating was a choice, and if she is ashamed of it, well, she should be. Would I be the idiot, 22 female, for avoiding my mom, 42 female, and her newborn? Backstory, my mom, 42 female, just had a baby, 0 female, this morning. I am the oldest of her now 5 children, and our ages span from 22 to newborn. My parents have been divorced since I was 7, and this is my mother's 4th marriage. I've never had the best relationship with either of my parents, but it's been especially rough with my mom. There were several times growing up that she would ignore my or my full siblings' needs because it didn't vibe with what her man wanted. When I was 13, she gave up custody and moved to a different state to be with her 3rd husband and baby daddy to my brother, 8 male. They were together for about 7 years, and it was during this time that I both went no contact with her for 2 years in high school and reconnected. I became closer to her again and enjoyed spending time with her. That lasted up until early 2020 when she told me she was divorcing her husband. I was never a big fan of him, and I knew that she wasn't happy, so I was okay with it. What I was never okay with was her lying to me, and she lied to me again that day when she told me that there wasn't anyone else. But the way she was hiding her phone and texting nonstop was a dead giveaway. The next time I saw her, she admitted that there was a new guy, and they were already dating. It reminded me of when I was younger, and she hopped in and out of relationships. I immediately pulled back in our relationship, and haven't been an active participant for a long time. The one time I tried to say something about my concern for my little brother, she blew up in my text messages, and ghosted me. She would also get pregnant a lot with new guys. She has 5 children now, but she's been pregnant at least 8 to 9 times. She told me that she was done with babies after she had my brother. She got pregnant around May or June last year after telling me over and over that she was done, and didn't care what her boyfriend thought. Turns out this was a planned pregnancy from the beginning, so again, more lies. So on to today, baby is born at 2 in the morning. I have not responded to any of the messages with pictures, or commented on any posts on social media. I haven't contacted my mom at all, and don't plan to until she reaches out. I honestly wasn't even sure of the baby's name until about a month ago because I've been so uninterested and uninvolved in the pregnancy in spite of her trying to include me. I have no bad feelings towards the baby herself. She didn't choose to be born. I'd never do anything to hurt her. I just don't want to be around her, or my mother for a while. I know this will hurt my mother's feelings since she seems to think this baby will be treated the same as my brother, but so much has changed since then, and I'm an adult with my own life. So would I be the idiot for avoiding my mom and her newborn? Not the idiot. You've been through what sounds like an enormous amount of trauma and upheaval. You're an adult. You get to decide your boundaries. This seems like an infinitely reasonable one. Not the idiot. If there's any opportunity for you to visit a therapist, I think a good therapist might do a ton of good to help you work out exactly how much contact you want with your mother going forward, and how best to maintain whatever boundaries you decide you want. She sounds like a really chaotic influence in your life, and you sound like an incredibly balanced and kind person. It's okay to decide you need less drama and more stability in your life. Not the idiot. You need to protect your own mental health, first and foremost. If you have not done so, look into getting some counseling just to be able to talk it through and process it. You have had a lot of challenges in your life, and it's important that you set boundaries. Am I the idiot for telling my mom the reason my brother went no contact? Me, 16 female, and my brother, 23 male, are very close. We've had some crazy times together, and he's honestly my best friend. We may bicker from time to time, but we're siblings. What do you expect? To get straight to the point, my mom, 54 female, absolutely hates my sister-in-law. My brother met her while he was out at a party about 5 years ago. Long story short, they hit it off, and now she's his wife. He proposed in February 2020, and the proposal was a nightmare. He got on one knee, and my mother went crazy saying she didn't want such a nasty, disrespectful woman to ruin our family. She didn't want her to make my brother less than a man, saying she wasn't woman enough to be with my brother. Saying all of this spiteful crap that quite frankly, wasn't needed. Since then, he decided to go no contact from most of the family, except me and a few cousins. And my mom didn't bother to reach out since then. She thinks that he should have stuck up for her. Recently, my brother posted a picture of his newborn son on his Instagram. I posted it on my story saying congratulations, and one of my aunts showed the post to my mom. Needless to say, she was hurt. And I understand why she was hurt, because it is her grandchild. But my brother told everyone, except for my mom, before he went no contact, that the only reason why he's ceasing contact is because he won't tolerate the disrespect of his wife. They have 3 kids together, and he's made it clear she's not going anywhere. He loves them with everything in him, so which means he's not taking any crap from anyone. My mom asked me about the post, and asked if I could call my brother to see if he would at least talk to her. I did ask him and he said no. I asked why and he said, my family means everything to me, and if she can't understand that means my wife and my kids, then I won't see her. Simple as that. I understood. The next day, she asked me if I called him and I said yes. I told her she wouldn't like what he had to say, and told her the reason why he won't talk to you is because he doesn't like how you constantly disrespect his family, and she said, his family is not family of mine. He knew that when he got that witch pregnant the first time. About an hour later she took my phone, car, and my TV out my room. And told the family that I lied, and made the whole situation up. And now the family is saying that I shouldn't have lied on my brother and that I'm a bad daughter and sister. I don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Tell everyone that your mother is the one lying. Tell them the truth. Take your stuff back. Not the idiot. Judging from her behavior, I doubt she's gonna have a relationship with any of her children in the future. You would do well to take the same path your brother has because your mother doesn't sound mentally well, and punishing you because her own behavior has lost her any relationship with her son would make me want to leave as soon as I could. Not the idiot. You didn't do anything wrong, but your mother sure has. She has made her bed with her horrid behavior, now she has to lie in it. You're not always going to like the people your children choose to marry. Your recourse is to bite your lip because you care about your children, not act like a child yourself. And you did her a favor trying to broker peace, and being honest about what your brother said in response. Looks like she's shooting for 2 children going no contact someday.